Here's the truth. Most of us aren't really living, we're just scrolling on our phones all day, every day. Digital detox sounds amazing in theory. Go offline, reset, breathe, come back a new person. But let's be real. If you are a mom, it sounds about as doable as a 3-day nap. 2 kids, 2 schools, 2 full-time jobs, just keeping up with the reminders, PDA updates, forms, and please send me in the 37 cupcakes by tomorrow type of thing. Moms joke about it, but it really does feel like a whole job just managing those notifications. And that's before you add in work, business, and your actual life. But I've never done a full digital detox, like 3 days without my phone. Honestly, I feel like I didn't have hands. My whole business is online. My kids, my husband, everyone expects me to answer fast. If I don't, it becomes a whole argument. But I've done little pieces of it, participated, and actually hosted women's circles where women can cry, laugh, scream, and finally release emotions without any judgment. Because you basically don't know anybody in that place. Or if you do, you usually bring the people that you trust. So that's like a detox for the soul. But going to a spa in New Jersey is like my favorite escape. I spend hours there with no phone, and for me, that is like heaven. Just me, silence, and steam. And I haven't been there for a while. Time to schedule that actually. Full digital detox. I haven't had the courage, or neither do I have the systems to do it. And I think a lot of us moms feel the same way. And the problem isn't that we don't want to rest, it's that we literally can't. We can't afford it. The problem is that we're on call, the kids, and with everything 24/7. And schools, like I said, they send us constant notifications, the stuff that keeps piling up if you don't check it. And everyone, especially if you have business like clients, they expect you to answer right away. And for those of us building a business, going silent for 72 hours feels like disappearing. And to be honest with you, it's exhausting, but it's also the world we live in. And while I've gotten used to it, I know it's not normal or healthy, and my nervous system is always on high alert, and I don't really sleep enough, and I consume way too much information, mostly about entrepreneurship, YouTube, content creation, UGC, wellness, doTERRA business. And the thing is, humans weren't built to consume this much information. I believe you learn something, you need to use it or share it. Otherwise, it just piles up inside of you like a digital clutter. And science actually backs this up. When we are always plugged in, our nervous system basically thinks there's a tiger chasing us 24/7. Cortisol, the stress hormone, stays high, and that messes up with everything, your sleep, your digestion, your hormones. That's why you can sit on the couch scrolling for an hour, but your body will never actually feel rested because it's not rest, it's alert mode with pretty pictures. You're lucky that there's nothing triggering when you scroll. And there's a wild stat. Studies show the average person processes about 34 gigabytes of information every single day, and that's like streaming Netflix inside your brain nonstop. No wonder we feel foggy, anxious, and bone deep tired. It also messes with sleep. Blue light from our phones blocks melatonin, the hormone that helps us fall asleep faster, and so you end up with that wired but tired feeling at 11 p.m. and you're exhausted, but your brain is still scrolling through imaginary grocery lists and comparing yourself to maybe strangers on that Instagram you just scrolled through. And speaking of Instagram, research shows heavy social media use is linked to higher anxiety and depression, especially for women, because let's be honest, we're not just living our own lives anymore. We are watching everyone else's highlight reel at the same time. It's like juggling 50 storylines, none of which are actually yours. So if you feel like you're constantly on edge or never fully rested, it's not just in your head, it's literally in your nervous system. And that's why slowing down isn't some luxury thing for Bali influencers. It's biology. We need it. Period. My dream is to one day do a real wellness retreat. Costa Rica, for example, is the top of my list because my mentor, actually, who I studied how to host women's circles, has a retreat center there, and I can't wait to go there, to be honest with you. My ultimate dream, though, of course, the Bali pictures sold me in that I want to be there as well. But every time I see those beautiful Bali retreat photos, I feel like this pool, not just because of the palm trees, but because the energy looks softer, slower, feminine, and living in New York for 18 years has taught me to love the rush, the fast pace, the hustle, the constant movement, but I know it's not sustainable, especially not for women, especially not for moms. We need to soften, we need to slow down, we need spaces where we're not just achieving but receiving. For me, that's been my struggle. I was born with a lot of masculine energy. And I know that for a fact because I studied numerology, and all the numbers just show that I'm more on that side. And I'm always chasing, always building and moving. But the older I get, the more I see how much my body and soul crave the opposite. Now, here's the real talk. I want that Bali retreat moment, but I also know it's not realistic right now because I don't have the systems running in the background while I disappear. And I know most of the women are the same. I'm still building, I'm still hustling, still on a call for my kids, and a lot of moms are the same, like I said. And maybe that's the truth moms really need to hear. You don't have to feel guilty if you're not doing a full digital detox in Bali. Maybe your version of slow living right now looks like this: putting your phone on airplane mode at night. Science shows just removing blue light before bed can boost that melatonin that we talked about by 50%. That's the difference between tossing and turning versus deep restorative sleep. Now, not answering every school notification instantly is the second thing. Our brains were not built for constant interruptions. Each notifications you answer can take your brain up to 20 minutes to fully refocus. So if you feel frazzled, that's not you being weak. That's literally how your brain works. And that is only about school notifications. Imagine our phones have all these apps on them and constant notifications, the emails, the messages and stuff. It wrecks your brain so bad. So the next thing that you could do is take an hour at the spa without your phone. Studies show even short breaks from technology lower your heart rate, reduce cortisol, and reset your nervous system. You don't need a week. Sometimes 30-60 minutes is enough to remind your body that calm feels like. Or send your partner with the kids outside to the playground and go to your bathroom alone for once. Saying no to one more obligation is another thing, because stress isn't just emotional, it's physical. Chronic stress has been linked to inflammation, hormone imbalance, and even immune suppression. So every time you say no to something you didn't need to take on, you're literally giving your body a health boost. So yes, maybe my Bali retreat is still on a wish board, but in the meantime, these little mini detoxes matter. They count, and they're just as valid for moms who are in the thick of it. So here's what I know. Digital detox and wellness retreats are powerful, but they're not always realistic for when you're in the middle of mom life. What matters is finding ways to slow down that fit your reality now. Because slowing down isn't a luxury, it's how we survive. It's how we remember who we are underneath all the notifications, all the noise, all the expectations. So don't wait for Bali to give yourself permission to breathe. Find your mini Bali in your own life, even if it's just airplane mode for 20 minutes or saying no to an extra school task. If this spoke to you, do two things. First, subscribe to my channel. Every week I share real wellness for moms, not the perfect curated versions, but the actual hacks, resets, and conversations we need to have. And second, grab my free reset guide. It's linked below. It's literally the couple minute shifts that change my energy when I thought I had none left. Because you don't need a week in Bali to reset. You just need tools that remind you who you are right here and right now.